What's up, guys? How y'all doing? So, just wanted to talk to you a little bit about guitars and getting your first guitar and what they mean to you and such. Do you remember going into the music store and leaving with your first real guitar? When I say real, you know, something nice, something you were really proud of. Well, I don't know how much you can see here, but this is my first guitar. Just want to tell you a little bit about it. So, back whenever I was, I don't know, 15, 16 years old, I had a guitar on layaway. I was really excited to get this guitar. Now, looking back, I thought it was going to be a great addition, you know, a great first real guitar. I loved metal, it fit the metal style, and I was really excited to go get this thing. I guess it was after a track meet that I'd ran or whatever, but I was out with my dad, and my dad knew I had this guitar on layaway, and he said, hey Jason, you know, let's go to the music store and let's look at that guitar, you know, that you have on layaway or whatever. So he wanted to get it out for me. So I was excited, you know, and we go to the music store and everything, and I ask him, I'm like, hey, you know, can you go get that guitar out the back, you know, that I have on layaway? They're like, yeah. So this guitar, let's just say that it was nicely used, you know, fairly used. My dad was not impressed, to say the least. He was like, what is that? So anyway, he turned to the salesman. He said, show me some of your better guitars in here. And the salesman took us over to the Gibson Les Pauls. And he's looking, and I pointed to this one right here, this guitar. I was like, oh, that's nice. And now, I was kind of intimidated. I mean, I'm going from a $100 guitar. Oh, now, the original guitar that I had was probably about, I don't know, that big. It was red, and it was a Growler, and it said Growler by Palmer under it. I don't know. It was a cool little guitar, man, but kind of outgrew it. But anyway, I got this Les Paul. It's a Les Paul steel. I got this Les Paul in my hands, and I sat down, and I'm strumming away, and I'm playing it, you know, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Kind of intimidated, though. Really expensive. Way above my playing ability, that's for sure. But my dad wanted me to have something nice, you know, because he figured if I had something nice, I would do my best with it, and I would take care of it, and I would, you know, I would treat it well. And he was right. So ended up leaving with this really nice Les Paul. I got home. My friends loved it. I was in love with it. I was taking it to school. I was sleeping with it next to the bed. It was great. That was my main guitar for years. You know, I had some other guitars that I would get here and there, but for at least a good 10, 12 years, this was the main guitar that I played. And so, this brings me to today. You know, I'm kind of heartbroken, to tell you the truth, about this guitar. This guitar was the main guitar that I would take on the cruise ships and travel around with, you know, so that means I got to fly and everything else. Well, one of the last times I went to on one of the cruise ships, they wouldn't let me carry on the guitar, and I ended up having to check it. Well, needless to say, I never saw this guitar again for, you know, 2 or 3 months. Nobody knew where it was. It never made it to the cruise ship. It never made it. We were flying to Amman, Jordan, and never made it. Luckily, my friend that was going out and he was playing bass with us, he took his guitar, and that's what I used on the cruise ship. So, you know, I was, you know, I'm in the Middle East, and I'm, you know, calling the airlines, and I'm using these little Nokia phones, whatever. It was just a wild experience. So anyway, I'm trying to track this guitar down, and nobody knows where it is. The airlines don't know anything, you know, and when you fly and you go to all these different countries, usually you'll go from like American to, you know, something else into something else, you know, and they're transferring me, and it was just, it was wild. So I get off the cruise ship, get back into Alabama. The guitar has made it back. My friend had picked it up for me, and she met me at the airport with it. And I was so glad to get this guitar back. I was so excited that it was not lost. And I was just, oh, I couldn't believe it. You know, my dad was there. You know, everybody came to greet us at the airport. I was real excited. And I opened it up. And when I opened it up, I couldn't believe, you know, it was in one piece. You know, it was all in one piece. Everything was great. I was just ecstatic. And I got my fingers and I ran them across the strings, just waiting to hear those little notes. And there's a fly in here. Get out of here, fly. And I just ran my finger across the strings, waiting to hear those notes, and it just went. And I thought, what in the... Ooh, didn't know what was going on. So immediate thought, all right, well, it's been, you know, there's no telling where it's been. The strings have probably just all, you know, they loosened up, you know, due to temperature, this and that. And I pulled it out of the case. Oh, man. And I couldn't believe it. Of course, the headstock right there, it's busted. It's busted. I couldn't believe it, you know, so I'm really sad. Upon further inspection, you know, my treble switch is busted. The neck's busted. The case, I didn't notice it whenever I first saw it. I was so excited to get it. But looking at the case, they either, one, just dropped it out of the airplane, it got to an airport and they decided to play catch with it, or they just threw it on the ground and somebody started doing jumping jacks on it. But I've never seen a hard shell case that just has all these random holes and it's just busted. The thing don't like to close anymore. You have to really, really finagle the case a certain way to make it shut properly. But you know, oh, I just can't believe it. It just sucks. And now this was several years ago, and it still breaks my heart. I can't believe those assholes. But anyway, which brings me to the next point in my video. I want you to leave me a comment and let me know. I've been told it can be fixed, but I want to know, you know, what's the reliability on that fix like, as far as, you know, will the guitar still play? Will it just not be real playable after that, or will it hardly be noticeable? And how long does a fix like that take? You know, I want to get this fixed. This guitar means a lot to me. My dad had recently passed away earlier in the year, and he got me this guitar knowing, you know, he got me this guitar wanting me to have, you know, one of the best. And he got it for me because he knew how much music meant to me. And I don't want this thing to just sit in my closet in the case. I want it out, hanging up on the wall at the very least, because I'm proud of this guitar, you know, and it reminds me of him every time I look at it, you know, and how thankful I was for him. So just let me know what you think about these kind of fixes and everything else, and just put that in the comment. And also leave me a comment about your first guitar, your first experience, and have you ever had this kind of stuff happen to you? And it sucks. Never broken a guitar, and this one gets smashed. But anyway, life goes on. Thanks guys a lot for watching my video, and until next time, remember, continue to make good music. See ya!